Hello, we will predict whether Cristiano Ronaldo scores a goal or he misses it using data science. This is the dataset that we have, where each goal is our dependent variable and independent features are like area, short basics, range, team, etc. And based on these we would predict whether it's a goal. 1 denotes it's a goal and 0 means it's a miss. The skills required to follow this project are basic Python coding skills, basic statistics like central tendencies, correlations, etc. and understanding of logistic regression. As this is a binary classification problem, I would start with making a linear logistic regression model, and basic knowledge about football would be required to understand and extract most from the given features. And the difficulty level of this project is beginners to intermediate level. The the workflow of this project we will start with exploratory data analysis. We'll try to explore the data and find out more information from the given data set. And next thing that we will do is missing value analysis. Missing value analysis is a big part in this project and a critical one, because there are a lot of missing cells. We can see there are a lot of cells that has missing value, and more than 50% of the rows has missing value in under some column or the other. So missing value handling is a critical part in this. Then we would find out the outliers and we'll treat them accordingly. We would do feature engineering, and the models that I would build are linear logistic regression model and random forest. Then we will check the accuracy obtained from these models, and then we would interpret the accuracies and the models that we have built. So let's start exploring the data with target variable, that is goal. So isGoal is a dependent feature. I'll do this project in Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so let's start with reading the data. First we'll import the libraries, some basic libraries like Panda, NumPy, Matplotlib, etc. And the more advanced libraries I'll import when I use them. We'll read the data. This is the data, head of the data. And first thing, we'll check the shape of the data, that is the number of rows and columns it has. It has 20,000 rows and 27 columns. And dot describe will do a dot describe to find the basic summary statistics of the numeric features. Here the count, it denotes the number of non-missing values under these columns. So we can see all of the columns has missing value in them. Mean of these features 50%. This is the median of the features, and we have maximum and minimum, also standard deviation. And this dot describes only gives the basic statistics of numeric features. If we want to see the categoric features, then we have to write include equals to O. O means object data type. So this would show the categories with object data type or the categoric features. So these are the basic statistics of the categoric features, like area of sort. These are non-null number of values under these columns, and these are number of unique levels that they have. And top, this is the most occurring level under this column, and frequency is the frequency of the most occurring level. So let's try to find out more about the target variable. So target variable, first thing that we should start with is we should define which of these classes is going to be our positive class, because this is a area of importance. We'll see that when we find the accuracy of the model. So I consider 1 as my positive class because this is the class of my interest. 1 denotes the goal, and this is the distribution of the target variable, where around 11,000 rows are a miss and 9,000 are a goal out of the total of 20,000, and this is the percentage distribution. 55% are a miss and 44% are a goal. Now let's see how we can achieve this in Python. We can achieve that report using value counts. If we run value count, it gives the number of the frequency distribution of the classes, and if we divide this with the length of df, then this gives the and multiply it with 100, this gives the percentage distribution, 55% and 44%. Now let's look at the independent features. So every time I run something, I make sure that I note the findings or observations in a PowerPoint or a Word doc so that I can refer to them later. So one way of starting the exploratory data analysis is by segregating the features based on their data type, like number of features that are numeric in nature and number of features that are categoric in nature. So this is finally what I am trying to find out, that which are categoric in nature, which columns are numeric, and within numeric we'll find the features which are continuous and which are discrete. And among categoric features, we are interested to find out the cardinality, and cardinality means the number of classes, number of unique features, number of unique values that column is having. So let's start with finding out the numeric features and the categoric features. So df.column gives all the feature names, and I would run a list comprehension to find out the numeric features. It says that where will run through all the df.columns, that is, it will run through all these columns and it will check the data type, and if the data type is float or integer, then those features would be saved under a list called numVar. So if I run this, we see there are 17 features that have numeric data type. To find out all the data types that are available present in this data, we can run our .info. This would give the data type of all the features. We have object data type, integer, date, time, float 64. Okay. So we have 17 numeric features. That's what I have mentioned here. We have 17 numeric features, and among numeric features, now I am interested in finding out the discreteness of the features. We can do that by finding the number of unique levels they have. So I am running a for loop. It will run through all the numeric variables and it will return the number of unique levels they have, and it will print them with the respective column. So this is the this shows the nature of the numeric variable. Like, so what I'll do to find out the discrete features, I'll find out I'll just separate the numeric features which has less than 20 unique levels. So here we can see that isGoal is our dependent variable, so we are leaving it now. So minimum minutes has only 12 unique values that are getting repeated in all those 20,000 rows. So we can treat this as a categoric feature. Power of sort has only 7. Knockout match has only 2 unique unique levels in it, and team ID has only 1. So what I have done is converted these power of sort, knockout match and remaining minutes, change the data type to object. I have done this because I think they would add more value if I treat them as object type, and hence categoric categoric features, and when I change them, then they would feature in the categoric variable list that I'll create later. So that's why I'm changing the data type of these, and I'm deleting some of the features, like team ID has only one value, so I'm simply deleting it. So I'm removing, I'm dropping sort ID numbers, I'm dropping all the IDs because I think IDs will not contribute to my model, and also I'm removing team ID because it has only one value. Similarly, I will run another list comprehension where I will, this time I'll take only the object, the data type that has object. So all the features with object data type are stored in cat_var. So we have 12 categoric feature, including the ones that I have converted here. And let's look at the cardinality of it. So I'm finding out the number of unique labels that they have, similar, just the way I have done in case of the numeric features. And here I am dropping the team name because we can see there is only one value in team name. And I have noted down that there are certain features like home away, lat long, type of sort, they have high cardinality, in the sense they have large number of levels in it, and that can be a problematic thing. So we need to handle it before we put it in the model. So I have just noted it for now, and we'll see how we can handle it later when we do the modeling. So we just found out the information and kept a note of it. And I'm dropping team name. Now we would do some more data. So this is, we have the basic knowledge about the features and the data type. The next thing that we would do, we'll do some more exploration of the data using univariate and bivariate plots. And the plots that I would run here are histogram, box plot. These two are univariate plots. That means they show the distribution of one variable at a time. And heat map and pair plot, these are bivariate in nature. So let's see how we can do that and what information we can extract from these plots. So this is the histogram that I have created. So let's go to Jupyter Notebook and let's find out how we can create this diagram. So a histogram is a frequency distribution plot. It shows the frequency distribution of a variable, both categoric and numeric variable. And let's look at the codes before we start to extract, analyze the plots. Okay, so I use .hist function and I run one, I give power of sort. So for power of sort, this is the frequency distribution that it is having. And we have seen that there is one more feature that has a similar name, similar to this, is power of sort 1. So let's run that also. So running these two simultaneously, we can see that this one is more numeric in nature, where this has more categoric. It's more categoric in nature, and we don't have any domain related description of this similar named feature, that why they are captured into different columns, or what is the difference between these two, other than the fact that we now know that they have a very different distribution, and one is continuous and other is discrete. So we will keep noting these points, and as we do more analysis, we will know which of them is more informative in our model, and which one to keep or remove. So for time being, we are just keeping a note of the nature of these plots. So these are here we have plotted only one variable in one plot. So to see all the variables simultaneously, we can use subplots, plt.subplots, where this would create a subplot with 2 rows and 3 columns. Okay, so similarly we can give as many number of rows and columns we want, and we can mention all the features here, and we can have a better looking plot where we can compare the features at one point. So you can see that knockout match and knockout match 1, they have the same thing. This is a category feature. It has 2 categories, and this is a more continuous plot. Similarly, we can see remaining seconds 2 and remaining seconds 1. Okay, so let's look at the next plot. Next, we have plotted a box plot for numeric features, where a box plot helps us to identify, to know more about the distribution of the features and also the presence of outliers. Let's see how we can achieve this plot in Jupyter. So this is the box plot of one feature, remaining minutes, and this is the box plot of remaining minutes 1. We can see that remaining minutes, it's a more normally distributed plot than rather the remaining minutes 1. It has a large number of outliers. These are the outliers. And a box plot is a 5-point summary plot that gives 5 information in this plot. That this shows the minimum value that this data has, like it has minimum of 0 and maximum of, it would be something around 11. And this line is the median, and this is the 25%. This shows that 25% of the data lies below 2 minutes. And this is the third quartile. Third quartile is the median, and sorry, this is the second quartile, the median, and this is the third quartile. This says that the third quartile says that the 70% of the data lies below 8 minutes, and this green line, this green dot, this is the mean. I have done so means this is the mean. So mean and median are same. But in case of remaining minutes 1, we can see that it has a very skewed distribution. Large number of outliers are present. Most of the data is clustered around 5 to 15, where the maximum is more than 120. And I have done a subplot to look at all the features at one point. I have plotted them in a subplot. Next is a bivariate analysis. So we'll start with a heat map. A heat map shows the linear correlation among numeric features. And let's see, for plotting a heat map, this is the heat map, and this shows all these numbers are linear correlations between each other. Okay, so location of y and distance of shot has a high linear correlation of 0.8. Let's see how we can plot a heat map from a Python. So for that we would df.num. So I have taken the numeric part of the data, and .chord will give the correlations, calculate the correlations among all these, and I am storing them in I have dropped these, so I have to update the list again. Yes, so I have calculated the correlations of all the features. If I see chord, This shows the correlations of each of the numeric features. Now SNS.heatplot, I pass that correlation matrix here, and if we run it, then we get the heat map of the numeric features. And from here we can see only this has the highest linear correlations, and remaining seconds 1 and remaining seconds 2 has 0.48, that is the next. And the next plot that we would do is a pair plot. A pair plot is a scatter plot of all the features, and from here we can see, at a glance we can have an idea about the relationships, mostly the non-linear relationship of the features. We can see this has a very linear relationship, so it's location of y and distance of sort. So what we have seen from the heat map also, that this has a high linear correlation. This also has a good correlation, but it is not captured that distance of sort and location of y. This is not showing a high correlation in this heat map, because heat map only captures the linear correlation, and this is not a linear correlation, so this is not showing as a high correlation here, but we can find that out from a pair plot. So there are a lot of plots, and all these plots are giving us a lot of information. So you can pause the video and try to find out what else we can find from these plots. And some of the things that I have noted from these plots is that there are some confusing features like knockout match 1, 2, like all these similar named features that are similar in name, but they have very different distributions. So this would help us to during feature engineering or during modeling. So the next thing that we would do is we'll analyze the value analysis, and we'll see how we can handle the missing values in the next video. Thank you.